Hey everybody, Unstable Gamer here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a deeper look into Avatar Generations. I did put a video out on this showing the intro of the game, but today we're going to go ahead and jump a little bit deeper, show you the different game modes, the different characters and things like that as well. So we're going to go ahead and jump into that. But first, before we do, if you're just now finding this channel and you want to stay up to date with the latest in mobile gaming, consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out. All right, and welcome back. Like I said, I did put an intro video out on this. If you haven't seen it, I'll go ahead and put a link up to it over here. This game is in soft launch, but it is in pre-registration right now. So you can go ahead and pre-register, get all the goodies and everything that's coming with that once the game goes global. We don't have an actual date for global, but I am playing this out of the Canada store. So I downloaded it out of the Canada iOS store, and that's what I've been playing over the last week. So today I want to just jump into the game a little bit, show you the different game modes. There's a lot that still is not available. We don't know when it's coming, but we'll go ahead and touch on that as well. But we'll show characters, kind of the progression. We'll get into the different game modes and show some gameplay as well. I really don't have much for summons. I'll explain summons a little bit later. I think we have enough for one. But let's go ahead and take a look at the different heroes. So we have Katara here. They are 3D models, and like I said, the art style is very close to the animated series. So, and it is pretty cool. So if you're an Avatar fan, if you're familiar with the series, I think you'll like what they have to offer here. There are a couple things that I am not a huge fan of. I'll go ahead and point those out as well once we come across them. But here's some different characters for you. As far as progression, you got your skills there. You're going to level them up. You're going to ascend them, or in other games they called ranking, things like that. So you can get up to level 10. Once you ascend them to the next ascension, then you're going to go ahead and open them up to go up to level 20. Then you ascend them again to get to 30, so on and so forth. You can tap on their abilities here. Upgrading them, this is a game where you're going to get multiple variants of the same character. As you can see for Zuko, I got a couple different variants of him. I've got the Agni Kai one. I like this one because it allows him to do two moves. He does one attack and then a follow-up attack. Both Agni Kai characters actually do that, Zuko and Zhao here. Now, if we go to Sokka, we have this version. This is the version that you get, but I did pull this version here, Warpaint Sokka. I do like this too because he's got this ability here where if you switch your weapon, so you use one weapon and then you switch your weapon to use the second weapon, then this is pretty cool. Check this out. Right here, you heal for 20% of your hit points and grant increased speed to the caster and the ally with the highest attack for one turn. So I thought that was pretty cool. As you get duplicates, you can upgrade their skills, and you can see the effects of upgrading the skills there. If I go to, let's go to Last Airbender. Let's go to Aang. Skill masteries here. These are cool. You just achieve these different things. So right now I'm working on clearing a boss battle with Aang 3 times. It's going to go ahead and get me to skill mastery level 2, and then you can see the effects right there. So there's a lot of different things that you can do to upgrade your characters and progress them. Right here, if I click on this, this is where you go and you upgrade and you progress. So if I max him out, I should max out now. No, I don't. It only takes me up to level 30. But then you'll get the ascension option, like right here, and you can see the materials down there that I need in order to ascend Katara so I can get her to level 40. Now we do have these here. So these are different arts, right? So, but you can look at these as gear. So you got defensive sets, you've got crit sets, you've got life stealing sets, things like that. So it's the same thing. The one thing I do like, so I got Katara outfitted with a full set of defense gear, and I like the fact right here, permanently increase defense of all allies by 25% and decrease the defense of all allies by 25% when your hit point is 25 when your hit points are 25% or below. So you get increased effects, obviously, like we've seen in other games. I do like this effect where it impacts the entire team. You get higher defense, so I like that. That's pretty cool. Let's see. You also have these here. So these are supports. These supports do different types of things. I can go ahead and change it out. So like we have this one here. Here's Appa right here. Hit point for Team Avatar. So increase hit points of Team Avatar heroes by 15% in battle. So you equip some sort of support as well for their benefits. I do like, let's see, we have this one here. Right here. Boom. Increase crit rate of offensive type heroes by 5%. So obviously you want to be a little bit strategic on what you choose as a support. And then we do have this as well. So let's see, let's take this out. So these are relics, and I am using this statue of Kyoshi. What this does here is heal for 5% of damage taken from attacks. And I have this on Katara because she gets attacked. She does provokes, taunts. She's a tank, so she's going to go ahead and heal herself as she takes damage as well. So a bunch of different things that you can do, like this one here. Boom, Southern Knight, decreased damage received from critical hits by 5%. So a bunch of different ways to progress your character. You can level up the arts and the relics and the supports as well. So that's a quick overview of the characters and the progression. There's a lot there. If we go into activities here, a couple different game modes that we have. Arena's not available yet. We don't know when it is going to be. It may be a launch game mode for global launch. But we do have boss battles. These are your typical resource grinding things, right? So Pirate's Domain, as you can see, it's gold that you go ahead and farm out of there. Scrolls from the training grounds so you can level up your characters. Elements quests, those are resource grinds that you can do in order to ascend your different characters. And Arts Expedition, again, that's similar just to gear in other games. So you can go ahead and farm the different sets out of there. And then boss battles gives you some very specific stuff, currency that you can use in the boss battle shop. Also, this currency here, which is very difficult to get. It's very slow to get a lot of these right now, especially early in the game, but these are used for Ascension as well. So those are the different game modes. Let's go ahead and jump into a battle. We'll just jump into element quests here. We'll go to stage 2. I do need some earth. Right there. Now it tells me what the power level of my team is. So 91k versus 50k. It says it's going to be easy. Here's my characters here. I have Appa as my support. You can take a look at restrictions. There are none. That's a little bit of a challenge as you're working through the game. There are specific restrictions that just make it very difficult for building a team, especially early on. You are going to want a very diverse roster for this. Let's go ahead and jump into here. You do have, you can skip. So once you 3-star a stage, you can skip that, skip the battles, and you can do, I think it's 5 skips per day for each one of these. All right, so Aang right here, he's got this AoE attack. Don't really need it right now. I'm going to save it. Let's go ahead, do some damage there. This is going to run pretty easy. But again, very turn-based. One thing that I didn't mention, we'll go ahead and take a look at it before, when we jump back in here. The different slots that you put your characters in is critical because you get benefits depending on where you place your character. So we'll go ahead, we'll pop back out of that. We'll jump into another one. One of the most difficult things here is, let's go next. Hopefully it takes me to the screen again for building my team. So right here, so up front, right here, I can hold on this. Front line, so slot bonus, reduce damage taken by 15%. Over here on the left, heal for 10% of your max health each turn. So I tend to put some weaker characters in there, characters who don't have as good of defense and just takes a lot of damage. Over here, reduce the cooldown of advanced skills by 1 turn for that one. And then in the back here, this is pretty cool, and it works for your enemies as well. So take 50% reduced damage from attacks that hit all enemies. Also, you can't be targeted while there is somebody in that front position. So in that front line position up here. So, all right, so let's go ahead. We're going to jump back into battle. Probably, hopefully be a little more difficult. I've actually thought about swapping Aang and Katara since she's defense. She's actually does really well in soaking up damage. So right here, this is her taunt. I'll go ahead and actually, I'll do the taunt for round 2. So right here, this is pretty cool. This is what I like about this Warpaint Sokka. So right now, I'm going to do damage, and then once I swap with this ability right here, the advanced ability, then I'll be able to heal and then speed up my character with the highest attack. All right, let's go ahead and do that. Once you get to a certain point in the game and Aang drops, let's go ahead and swap that. Boom, switches his weapons, does an attack. So you can do 2. You get that extra turn. You get a swap and attack. So I think that's pretty cool. And I forgot what I was talking about earlier. I'll probably catch it in editing. Oh, Aang, when he drops to a certain health, he switches into an avatar state. All right, we're going to do our provoke. All right, so we got combos here. You also have the ultimate. I can't remember what they call it, but this swirling thing here is an ultimate. So we're going to go ahead and actually, who's next? Looks like Warpaint Sokka over there on the left is next. So I'm going to actually do, let's do her defensive stance with provoke. And then we're going to go ahead and taunt. Now, you can swap these characters around. You find this out a little bit later in the game. You also have, you can see the different icons that flash over Aang right there. It shows a link. So that's in the second slot there, it's a link. And in the third slot, it's, I think it's called an ender. And then this last slot, nothing. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's go. Yeah, we'll keep that combination. I've been playing around with the combinations to see how much of an impact it really has. Still very new. I'm only a week into this game right now. I do like it. There are some things I'm not a huge fan of. I'll bring those up here in just a minute. But let's go ahead and get through this battle. That was a good attack. And that wipes out your combo bar down there. I think it's your focus down here is what it's called, if I remember correctly. Let's just go ahead and take them out. So there's a different battle than what you saw in the intro if you watched the intro. So let's go ahead. Let's go out to the map. We're going to go ahead and exit. We got some good resources there. We didn't 3-star it. 3-starring is a little bit difficult because you have to complete the battle in 8 or less turns. So it makes it a little more difficult. It's not your typical 3-star where you just have to make sure everybody lives. You have to make sure you have enough power and strategy when you go in there to take it out the enemy's out in less than 8 turns, 8 or less turns, so that you can 3-star it, and then that's going to allow you to skip ticket it. All right, so let's go back out. If we take a look at here, adventure, those are the resource grinds. Your heroes is your roster. Summons, obviously, is your summons. Sorry, adventure's not your resource grinds. Activities are your resource grinds. Nothing on events right now, and as far as guilds, nothing as far as guilds right now in the game either. So things that we don't have open yet, we don't have guilds, and we don't have arena. No news on that yet, but I hear that we're supposed to be getting an update before global. We'll see what happens there. Let's go ahead. Adventure, if I click adventure here, I'm just going to go home. It's the same thing as clicking right here. Now, the thing with adventure mode, this is where you go through the story. A frustration that I have is in order for me to continue the story, so it's right up here, Might of the Mountain, I have to unlock Shen Guan here. In order to do that, I need these adventure points. Okay? Now, adventure points are things that you get as you are moving through the different maps. But right now, I'm stalled. I can't go any further in the story until I get adventure points. As you can see, I need 3,000, and I only have 520. I don't know if this is going to be something that changes a little bit for global, if it's just dropped, or maybe we're going to get more adventure points when we do things. But I'll show you how you get those. How you get those, I'll go ahead and back up out of here, and I'm going to go in here. Right here. So as you go to different nodes and nodes that you have completed, I'll show you another area of the map. Once you've completed the story in that area, then you travel the different paths to get resources. It's kind of like an idle mechanic. And this is one thing that I'm not a huge fan of because it takes a long time it's going to take a long time. I only got 30 out of here. It's going to take a long time and multiple paths and multiple days for me to accumulate 3,000 adventure points so that I can continue the story. I really hope that that's something that changes. Now you can, this is why I'm not a huge fan of it, it's locked behind a paywall or item mechanic. So you can go into the store and you can use premium resources. So you purchase the premium resource in the game, and then you use those resources in order to purchase adventure points. Now you can only purchase so many, but you can purchase adventure points so you can move further along in the game. That is something that I'm not a huge fan of. I hope it changes there. Maybe it's just something they're doing for early launch. I mean for early access or soft launch. We'll see what it looks like in global. But that's my biggest hang up with this game right now is you are locked behind that just for the main story. In other game modes and things like that, I know that there's different ways to unlock game modes and progress in different areas of the game, but I've never known a game to lock the main story behind something like that. So that's really my only hang up. The story is great. The art is great. I like the strategy. I like how each slot that you put your character in gives you a bonus. I like mostly everything about this game. Those two things there, not a huge fan of. It's an idle mechanic where you have to go in and you have to set your characters on those paths. I'm rambling a little bit now, but you have to go in and manually select them and move them around the map. So you're constantly going in the game and you're constantly move them. Once you go out, so like if I go back out here and we'll go out to, let's go to this guy right here. So this is where I am. This story here, I completely, is complete. It's done. If I click on this and hit travel, it'll tell you what your rewards are. Right now, I don't get any resources other than gold and experience. Experience is 1, so there's no sense in doing anything there, right? So each one of these, let's see if there's anything that I still need to move to. But I have to select, take a look at where I can go to get resources, and I've gotten everything. You don't have to hit every one. You just hit the farthest corners of each one of them, and along the way, once you're done and the timer's done, it's anywhere from 10 minutes to 15 minutes to 30. It even goes up to an hour. The longest timer I saw was an hour. But again, you go in here, you tell them to move, you collect your resources, tell them to move again, collect resources, so you're constantly coming back in. It's an idle mechanic, but I'm not a huge fan of how they instituted it. So hopefully something like that changes. So again, those are the two things that I really have the biggest issue with. Other than that, I think it's a great game. It's a lot of fun. The summons, I would like to, the summon animation is kind of basic. No offense to anybody. Again, it's early access, but this is what it looks like. I only have enough for one. And just taking a look at the canopy there, this is probably a 3-star. So we'll pull down. The reason why I don't have a lot of summons in the for the video right here is because I've been trying to build my roster out so I can do more in the game. So I got a relic. This is the thing too. So your relics and your characters are lumped into one summon. There's a bunch of different types of summons as well where you can do just relics and things like that. But this right here, you have relics, you have summons, characters, and you definitely get more relics and things like that than you do actual characters. So I've done a lot of summons, and these are the only characters that I currently have right now. So it does take some time. Also, leveling in this game, your overall player level takes a little while as well. So it's not very quick. It's not very quick, but overall, I do enjoy the game. I like what they've done. I like the story. I'm excited to see where the game goes. I just really hope they reconsider or take a look at the adventure pathing and how much you need. If they're going to keep it locked behind adventure points, hopefully they kind of bring that down a little bit so we can move through the game at a good pace, because right now it just really slows progression down, especially if you're a free-to-play player. It really, really slows progression down. And I can see that if you're not a hardcore Avatar: The Last Airbender fan, it may turn you off from the game. So there you go, everybody. That is what I had for you. I rambled on a little bit. This was a little bit of a longer one, but I wanted to give you just an early look at what this game is looking like right now. No global launch date. Give you my thoughts on a few things. A lot of good. A few things that I want to see change, but we'll see what happens. All right, everybody. That is what I had for you. As always, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts and questions in the comments section below. Take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time.